Ladies, let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered what it is that makes a man instantly switch on around you? I'm not talking about him noticing you because of your outfit or glancing your way because you walked into the room. I'm talking about that deeper moment, the moment where his eyes light up, his attention sharpens, and you can feel that he's drawn to you in a way that's more than just physical. Now, here's the thing. Most women have been sold the idea that men are only turned on by the obvious: tight dress, perfect makeup, the right body. And sure, those things can grab his eyes for a second, but they don't hold his desire, because men, just like you, crave something more than surface level attraction. They want to feel a spark, an energy, a presence that makes them say, I don't know what it is about her, I can't stop thinking about her. And here's the crazy part. There is Owen Thing, one powerful trait that turns on 99% of men instantly, not just for a night, not just for a fling, but in a way that makes them obsessed with wanting to be around you. And it's not what you think. When you understand this one thing, and more importantly, when you learn how to express it in your everyday interactions, you'll notice men reacting differently to you. They'll lean in closer, they'll crave your attention, and they'll chase you harder than ever before. So today, I'm going to break down what that one thing is, and then I'm going to give you 5 powerful ways to activate it so you can become unforgettable to any man you want. When it comes to attraction, nothing makes a man sit up and take notice more than playful confidence. And I want you to really hear this, because when I say confidence, most people imagine that bold, loud, in your face type of behavior, the woman who walks into a room commanding attention, speaking the loudest, being the center of everything. That's not what I mean. Playful confidence isn't about trying to dominate the room. It's about the subtle, light-hearted way you carry yourself, the little moments where you show you're comfortable in your own skin, and the fun energy you bring into every interaction. Think about the last time you were around someone who laughed freely, who didn't overthink every little thing they said, who didn't take themselves too seriously. Weren't you instantly drawn to them? That's what playful confidence looks like. It's when you can tease a guy lightly without worrying if he'll get offended, when you can joke about yourself in a charming way that shows you don't need to be perfect, when you can look at him with a mischievous smile that makes him wonder what you're thinking. That's the kind of energy that men cannot resist. Most men spend their lives in a world that feels heavy: work, stress, responsibilities, expectations. When a woman comes along and brings that refreshing, light-hearted confidence, it's like oxygen to him. He doesn't just feel attracted, he feels alive around you. And that's what makes him crave you more than anyone else. The beauty of playful confidence is that it's not about what you wear, how tall you are, or how you look compared to someone else. It's about presence. It's about the way you carry yourself when you walk into a room. Imagine you're meeting a guy for the first time. Most women overthink. They freeze up. They're worried about saying the wrong thing. But the woman who walks in smiling, who makes a lighthearted comment about the setting, who leans into the moment instead of resisting it, that's the woman he remembers, because she radiates ease. And ease is attractive. Another powerful element of playful confidence is that it creates polarity. Most men deep down love a little challenge. They don't want everything handed to them on a silver platter. If you can look at him with that sly grin and say something like, oh please, you can do better than that. When he makes a cheesy joke, you're not just being funny. You're showing him you're confident enough to engage with him without fear. You're not intimidated, and that turns him on. It tells him you're not desperate for approval. You're secure enough to play. One of the biggest mistakes women make is thinking they need to act perfectly polished all the time. But actually, what makes men feel hooked is when you're playful enough to be a little messy, a little spontaneous. Maybe you dance around the kitchen while cooking. Maybe you trip in your heels and laugh about it. Instead of shrinking with embarrassment, maybe you challenge him to a silly competition over who can make the best cocktail. These moments show you're not living in fear of judgment, and that confidence mixed with fun is intoxicating. Let me put it this way: beauty may get his eyes, but playful confidence gets his soul, because while looks can be admired, confidence is felt. And when you wrap that confidence in playfulness, you create an experience no man forgets. He might meet dozens of beautiful women in his life, but the woman who made him laugh, who made him feel lighter, who teased him with that sparkle in her eyes, she's the one who sticks in his head at night. So when I say playful confidence is the number one thing that turns on 99% of men, It's not an exaggeration. Men are visual, yes, but they're emotional creatures too. They want to feel excited. They want to feel like they're with someone who elevates their world. And when you walk through life with that mix of self-assurance and lighthearted fun, you instantly separate yourself from every other woman he's ever met. If playful confidence is what first makes a man lean in, genuine appreciation is what makes him stay. And here's the thing, men don't often say this out loud, but one of their deepest cravings in a relationship, or even in the beginning stages of dating, is to feel valued. It's easy to assume men only want physical attraction, but what actually awakens his masculine energy, what actually makes him feel connected and turned on, is when he feels seen and appreciated for who he is and what he does. Now, let me make something clear. This isn't about throwing empty compliments at him. It's not about constantly boosting his ego, and it's definitely not about stroking him just to keep him happy. That kind of fake flattery backfires because men can sense when you're not being in real. What I mean by appreciation is noticing his effort, acknowledging the little things, and showing him in those subtle moments that you see more than just the surface. Imagine this: a man plans a date and maybe it's not the fanciest restaurant in town. Maybe he didn't book the rooftop with the view of the entire city, but he took the time to think about it, to make the reservation, to pick you up. When you say, "I love that you thought this through, it makes me feel special," you're not only showing gratitude, you're appreciating the intention behind his actions. That kind of acknowledgement lights him up because in that moment, he feels like his effort mattered. And when a man feels his effort matters, he wants to give you more. This works in the small, everyday things too. Maybe he fixes something in your apartment. Maybe he tells a funny story that makes you laugh. Maybe he shows you a new song he likes. If you can pause and let him know, "I love that you did that," or "I really like the way you make me laugh," you're sending a signal that says, "I see you, I notice you." And that creates a deep emotional pull that turns him on far more than any physical gesture could. Why? Because men, just like you, are walking through life with doubts. They question if what they do is enough, if they're really being admired, if they're actually making an impact. And when you step into his world and shine a light on the things he does right, you give him a sense of certainty. You give him a feeling that with you, he can be his best self, and that is addictive to a man. But here's the nuance: appreciation is powerful only when it's genuine. If you start throwing out generic lines like, "You're amazing, you're the best," without connecting it to something real, it falls flat. The magic is in being specific. Instead of saying, "You're funny," you say, "I love how you always find the humor in situations. It makes being with you so easy." Instead of saying, "You're handsome," you say, "The way you looked at me just now was so sexy." Do you feel the difference? Specific appreciation shows you're paying attention, that you're really tuned into him. That's what hits him in the heart. And here's the twist: most people miss appreciation doesn't make you look needy. Some women hold back because they fear if they show too much gratitude, they'll seem like they're trying too hard. But in reality, when a confident woman gives appreciation, it only highlights her value. It shows she's secure enough to give without fear, to celebrate someone else without worrying it will take away from her own shine. That combination, confidence plus genuine appreciation, makes a man want to rise for you. He feels like he can win with you, and every man craves that. So the next time you're with a man you're interested in, notice something about him and let him know. It doesn't have to be grand. It could be the way he tells a story, the way he opens the door, the way he looks when he's focused. When you do watch how his posture changes, how his energy shifts, how his attraction toward you deepens instantly. Because the truth is, men may look strong, but what turns them on the most is a woman who can make them feel valued for who they are. And when you give him that gift, he won't just be turned on, he'll be hooked. One of the most overlooked things that instantly turns a man on is mystery. And when I say mystery, I don't mean being confusing or playing manipulative games. What I'm talking about is the art of not giving everything away at once. It's the ability to let a man discover you in layers, to keep just enough back that he's always leaning in, curious, wanting more. Because here's the truth: attraction thrives on anticipation. It's not about dumping your entire life story on the table in the first 5 minutes. It's about allowing him to earn each new piece of you. Think about it this way. Have you ever watched a movie where in the first 10 minutes they tell you the whole plot, the twist, and how it ends? Boring, right? You'd probably switch it off. but the movies that hook you are the ones that reveal just enough to keep you watching, to keep you guessing. The same thing happens in dating. If you give everything away too soon, the mystery disappears, and with it his excitement. But when you hold back just enough, you create a sense of intrigue that's irresistible. Now, this doesn't mean hiding who you are or pretending to be someone you're not. It means being selective. It's sharing one exciting story about your trip abroad, but saving the other 10 for later. It's hinting at your passion for something, but letting him ask more questions to uncover the depth of it. It's smiling when he asks about your past, but saying, "That's a story I'll tell you another time." These little moments keep him hooked because men love the chase, not the chase for a person, but the chase for discovery. They love feeling like there's always more to uncover, that you're not an open book he can finish in one sitting. Here's what most people get wrong. They think being mysterious means being distant. That's not it. Mystery doesn't mean you push him away or act cold. It means you're warm, engaging, present, but you don't give him every single detail right away. You let the relationship breathe. You allow him to lean in and do some of the work to know you better. That's the sweet spot where he feels connected, but he also feels excited about what's coming next. And let's be real, men are competitive by nature. They like the idea that not everyone gets access to you. When you hold something back, it sends a silent signal. I don't give myself away easily. If you want to know more about me, you have to earn it. That is unbelievably attractive. It makes him step up. It makes him invest more. It makes him want to peel back those layers slowly, because now you're not just a woman he's attracted to. You're a woman he's fascinated by. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're on a date and he asks about your last relationship. Instead of unloading every detail, you smile and say, "Let's just say I learned a lot about what I don't want and what I do. I'll tell you the rest when I trust you with the whole story." Do you see what you just did there? You created curiosity, you held back, and you positioned yourself as someone who doesn't give her most intimate details away easily. That little spark of mystery keeps him invested, keeps him thinking about you long after the date is over. At the end of the day, mystery is what keeps attraction alive. It's what makes him text you the next day wondering what you're doing. It's what makes him replay your conversations in his head, trying to figure you out. It's what makes him want to come closer again, because while confidence and appreciation draw him in, mystery is what keeps him coming back for more. And when you master that balance, open enough to connect, but mysterious enough to intrigue, you become unforgettable. If there's one thing that separates the women men enjoy spending a little time with from the women men crave to be around, it's this: she knows how to have fun. And when I say fun, I don't mean she's out every night at clubs or constantly chasing adventure. I mean the kind of fun energy that makes even the most ordinary moment feel alive. Men are not just looking for someone who's beautiful or smart. They're looking for someone who makes their world feel lighter, who makes them laugh, who makes life less of a grind and more of an experience. That's the kind of woman he wants to wake up next to, travel with, and build memories with. Think about it. So much of life is repetitive. Work bills, deadlines, responsibilities. Most men walk around carrying stress on their shoulders every single day. Then suddenly, he meets a woman who brings out a different side of him. She's playful. She laughs easily. She doesn't need everything to be serious all the time. She can turn a random trip to the grocery store into a moment of connection. Maybe she challenges him to guess what she's about to put in the cart. Maybe she makes a silly joke about the people around them. Maybe she dances a little in the aisle to the song playing on the speakers. That kind of energy is magnetic because it's rare. Men remember how they feel when they're with you. Not just what you said, not just what you wore, but how you made them feel. And when you're the kind of woman who makes him feel like life is exciting again, you instantly become unforgettable. The truth is, a lot of women get stuck in their heads when they're dating. They overanalyze every word. They stress about what he's thinking. They hold back because they don't want to embarrass themselves. But the woman who leans into the moment and just has fun, she's the one who stands out. Here's what's interesting. Fun doesn't mean you're always cracking jokes or being the loudest in the room. Fun can be subtle. It can be the way you look at him with a mischievous smile when you're about to tease him. It can be challenging him to a game of pool and pretending you're more competitive than you really are. It can be trying something new together, like cooking a recipe you've never made before and laughing when it goes completely wrong. Those shared moments of joy create bonds that are far stronger than just surface level attraction. And here's the secret: when you're fun, you also unlock fun in him. You give him permission to let his guard down, to stop being the serious guy who has to be on all the time, and to just be playful. That is one of the sexiest gifts you can give a man, because suddenly he doesn't just see you as someone he's attracted to. He sees you as someone he can enjoy life with. And when a man associates you with joy, with laughter, with excitement, he doesn't want to let you go. Let's be honest, looks fade, conversations can get repetitive, but shared laughter never loses its spark. Fun is the glue that keeps attraction alive. It's what turns an ordinary relationship into something extraordinary. It's why couples who laugh together last longer, why men talk about the woman who made them feel alive long after she's gone. Because in a world full of stress, the woman who knows how to have fun is like sunshine. He just wants more of her. So if you want to instantly turn a man on, don't just focus on looking perfect or saying all the right things. Focus on creating fun moments. Laugh, tease, play. Bring a little lightness into his world, because that's what he'll crave. And trust me, that's what will make him addicted to you. If there's one quality that can drive a man absolutely wild without you even realizing it, it's your sensual energy. And I want to be clear here, I'm not talking about walking around acting seductive 24/7 or forcing yourself into some over-the-top sexy version of yourself. Sensuality is not about trying too hard. It's about those subtle, natural signals you give off when you're comfortable in your own skin, when you're present in your body. And when you allow that soft, feminine energy to come through. Think about this: men are highly visual, yes, but what truly turns them on isn't just what they see, it's the feeling they get when they're around you. Sensual energy is that moment when you hold eye contact just a little longer than usual, when you brush his arm as you laugh, when your voice softens as you're telling him something personal. These small, almost effortless things create an atmosphere that feels charged, exciting, magnetic. He may not even be able to put his finger on why he feels so drawn to you, but he does. A lot of women make the mistake of thinking they have to dress provocatively or put on an exaggerated performance in order to be sensual. But the truth is, the most powerful sensuality is understated. It's in the way you carry yourself, the way you move, the way you listen. Imagine this: you're at dinner with him, and instead of sitting stiffly across the table, you lean in slightly when he talks. You tilt your head as you listen. Your lips curl into a soft smile when he makes you laugh. That body language alone is more electrifying to him than any tight dress ever could be. Sensual energy also shows up in how you use your presence. When you walk into a room, do you rush around nervously, or do you allow yourself to slow down, to glide instead of hurry, to be aware of your space? A woman who takes her time, who moves with intention, radiates sensuality. And that doesn't come from trying, it comes from choosing to be present. One of the most powerful things you can do is connect to your senses when you're with him. Notice how the food tastes, how the music sounds, how his hand feels when it brushes yours. When you're tuned into your senses, your energy changes. You become more grounded, more feminine, more alluring. And men pick up on that instantly. Without a word, you create an atmosphere where he feels more connected to you. Here's the beauty of this: sensual energy doesn't just turn him on, it draws him deeper emotionally too, because it shows him you're comfortable with intimacy, not just physical intimacy, but emotional closeness. When you hold his gaze, when you let silence hang for a beat instead of rushing to fill it, when you allow him to feel your presence, you're telling him, I'm not afraid of being seen. That vulnerability wrapped in confidence is intoxicating. The mistake some women make is trying too hard, forcing flirtation, exaggerating their gestures, or putting on an act they can't sustain. Men can feel when it's unnatural, but when your sensuality flows from a place of authenticity, it's irresistible. It makes him want to touch you, to lean closer, to stay in your presence just a little longer. At the end of the day, sensual energy is not about doing more. It's about doing less. It's about slowing down, being present, and letting him feel the feminine warmth radiating off of you. That, more than anything, is what flips the switch inside a man. Because while looks may catch his eyes, it's your sensual energy, effortless, natural, unforced, that keeps his desire burning. And when you embody that, he won't just be turned on, he'll be mesmerized. So here's the truth: turning a man on isn't just about what you wear, how you look, or whether you have the perfect body. What really drives him crazy is the energy you bring. Playful confidence makes him feel alive. Genuine appreciation makes him feel valued. Mystery keeps him casing more. Fun energy makes him want to spend every moment with you. And your effortless sensuality, that's the spark that keeps his desire burning long after you've said goodnight. When you put these 5 together, you don't just become attractive, you become unforgettable. You're no longer the woman he finds pretty, you're the woman he can't get out of his head. And that's the difference, because attraction based only on looks fades quickly. But attraction based on energy, on the way you make him feel, that stays with him. That's what turns on 99% of men. Now, here's my challenge to you. I want you to pick just one of these 5 things and try it out this week. Maybe it's leaning a little more into your playful confidence. Maybe it's giving a man genuine appreciation for something he does. Maybe it's holding back just enough to let mystery build. Whatever it is, try it and notice how men respond differently to you. And if this video gave you an aha moment, drop a comment below and tell me which of these 5 you're going to use first. I love reading your stories, and trust me, you'll inspire other women here too. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join this amazing community of women who are learning how to create real, lasting attraction, not by pretending to be someone else, but by amplifying who they already are. And don't forget to like this video, because it helps more women find the advice that could change their love lives forever. Until next time, remember, the most irresistible thing you can ever be is unapologetically you.